Namaste. Good afternoon to all. I welcome all of you to the orientation of National Children's Science Congress 2021. As you all aware, the focal theme and the sub-themes are the same last year as well as this year. And we had an elaborate orientation with a lot of examples for all the sub-themes last year. And I had also shared the orientation PPT to all the schools, the children as well as the guides. So today's orientation, therefore, will focus more on how to improve the quality of the projects. So the main objective of today's orientation is going to be how can we improve the quality of project. So when I share the video of this orientation with all of you, I'll also share the PPT of last year so that if anybody has missed out last year, those who could not attend can go through that and then come back to me with whatever query they have. I'll be more than glad to clarify all your doubts. Even those who attended last year can also come back and seek all the clarifications that they want. So last year, those students who participated at the inter-school level had a one-to-one face-to-face interaction with me, and I had given a lot of good orientation to improve the quality of projects. So though they had advantage, but those who could not make it to the national level, to the inter-school level, can take advantage of this orientation session because this is something same as what I did with the students who participated at the inter-school level. So let's move to the orientation. So the focal theme is science for sustainable living, and the sub-themes are ecosystem for sustainable living, appropriate technology for sustainable living, social innovation for sustainable living, design, development, modeling and planning for sustainable living, traditional knowledge systems for sustainable living. These were the sub-themes last year also, and we had gone through many examples for each of these sub-themes. Therefore, we will not again go through them. This is the eligibility criteria, which all of you know. Last year, a few students did not pay attention to the criteria, that is, the age should be as on December 31st. So this year, please pay attention to the age criteria. That means you should be 10 to 14 years as on December 31st, 2021, and 14 plus to 17 for the upper category. And each project group should have a team leader and a team member, and the guide should be a school teacher from the same school. A child scientist who has already presented as a group leader at the national level in one age group cannot be a group leader in the subsequent year since we did not have a national level at India level. That's not applicable. That criteria is not applicable this year. This is how the selection process looks like. So we will have the nominations. So we'll be sharing the Google Forms within a couple of days. The target dates for each of these will be communicated soon. Followed by the nominations. The first step, as all of you know, will be the NCAC at the school level, and then the KSA level. Followed by that, the India level. The oral presentation of junior and senior categories were separate till last year. This year, we are going to have it combined as per the guidelines of NCAC. So each school will have only one oral presentation instead of two separate oral presentations last year. A number of most promising projects at each level from each school will be communicated later because some schools have got better projects compared to other schools. Therefore, it will be all schools combined together. We will declare the number, and then they will compete at the inter-school level, which is the KSA level. Now, if this year one more criteria has come, that means last year we had some schools had about 25, 30 registrations, and therefore the oral presentation was running for about 5 to 6 hours, sometimes even longer than that, and that becomes really taxing for the evaluators, since evaluators are coming from across the globe, and their timings are also different, and it's not required. Therefore, what we will do this year is that we will choose the best 8 or 10 or even more, depending upon the quality of the project. We will choose the best, and only those teams will participate in the oral presentation at the school level itself. And last year, some of the schools had only 2, 3 teams and all. So if in such case, if the number of teams are less than 5, then we will not conduct the oral presentation for that school individually. We will combine 2 or 3 schools together, and then we will have, so that there will be 8 or minimum 8 teams and then or more, and we will do it together. Last year, there was no guidelines even for the publications and patent. Therefore, I thought it's better to have an organized way of giving the guidelines. So, as per NCC guidelines, child scientists must be allowed to work independently. Therefore, my humble request to the guides and parents is just to provide, support them, and then allow them to work independently so that they get maximum benefit out of this. And all communications to NCC coordinators, coordinator or the Science India Forum for any clarification should come from the team leader. Last year, I observed that some of the teams, both the team member as well as the team leader, both of them were asking the same questions to me. And then to some of them, I asked, do you not interact with each other? You're asking the same question. Therefore, it is always better that the team leader comes and asks the questions, and then let that team leader convey everything to the team member as well as the guide, because then we can avoid duplication. Requests for all publications and patents have to be initiated through Science India Forum. This was not communicated last year, therefore I thought it's good to communicate, and then let's become more organized. SIF will CC all the participants and guide in all communications for publications and patents. Request to Science India Forum for publications and patent has to come from the team leader with CC to the team member and guide. This is just to avoid any confusion. So team leader will be always taking the lead, but the team leader has to ensure that the team member as well as the guide is kept in CC in all communications. With that, let's move to the suggestions for to improve the quality of projects. So we will look at a couple of projects and see how can those projects be made to a much better quality. So before moving to that, let's first look at what are the 4 basic pillars of Children's Science Congress. Because last year I observed that despite giving such a elaborate, detailed orientation, still many projects did not stick to the 4 basic pillars of Children's Science Congress project. That means they should be simple, practical, innovative, and inexpensive. So pick up problems which are very simple up to the student level. It should be practical to be implemented. Do not pick up something which is very high level, and it should be innovative. That means contribute something of your own. Do not pick up something from Google and just do the experiments and come and present it here. And it's be inexpensive. This I am highlighting again because I observed a few projects which were really good, but then unfortunately they were not practical to be implemented. One of them which I remember is from Ali Yasmin. That was a project about ethanol production. It was a wonderful project, but unfortunately it was highly expensive to be implemented, and therefore pay attention to ensure that you are sticking to these 4 basic pillars of CSE projects. Now my question to all of you is, do these projects comply with 4 basic pillars of NCC? Because I have just picked up only a few projects which were presented last year. These are very few of them. There are many projects like this which can be avoided. So ask a question to yourself. Does it fit into these 4 basic pillars like stem cell therapy, artificial human heart, robotics, self-powered medical equipment, flood management, sponge city, save forest? I don't think any of these fit into these 4 basic pillars. So ask a question. In case you have a doubt, you can always come back and ask me. Some students asked me last year and then I clarified it. So you can pick up such kind of project, but then be specific. So I attempt only some specific problem out of these topics. So this is the first project which I have picked up. So first of all, when you look at this, see, look at this. This is a dark background, and then a stripe is also given, like dark black color stripe. By doing this, what is happening is you are reducing the space in your PPT. So you cannot accommodate maximum contents in this. Therefore, avoid background and designs which can reduce the space. And then also provide the focal theme as well as all the relevant information whatever is recommended. So look at this. So one slide is that, and then second slide, the team is talking about the topic, and then also is it not possible to add the topic in the opening slide itself and combine them? And is it not possible to add an image depicting the problem instead of giving it as plain? Is this background relevant to the problem, the topic which they are attempting? So, and then the other observation I have is that manufacture of bioplastic using milk and vinegar is a non-technology. Therefore, if you are picking up such kind of technology, add something at your level, something very simple, so that it becomes your topic. That means it becomes an innovation. So you are adding something of your own, and then it becomes your solution, right? Very, very simple up to the student level. and also describe the problem and the solution in the topic itself. Like manufacture of bioplastic using milk and vinegar doesn't address any problem or solution. So let's see in the next slide how can we make it better. So here, what I'm suggesting is that mention 28th National Children's Science Congress focal theme, and then instead of putting this topic, manufacture of bioplastic and the using milk and vinegar, say a sustainable approach to replace plastic with bioplastic produced from milk and vinegar. So you're addressing a problem and a solution, right? And mention the sub-theme also, appropriate technology for sustainable living. Mention the school name also, it was not mentioned, and then I have put a appropriate image here, which is the plastic getting accumulated and creating problem, havoc in the environment. So what are plastics? Do you think it's necessary to educate the evaluators about what is a plastic? Evaluators know. So you can save time. So avoid these kind of unnecessary slides or topics. Even in your reports, do not have these. It's not required. Now, the impact of plastic on the environment, right? So its impact, there is a grammar mistake. It is right. So pay attention to these details because the evaluators will definitely will have you will create a poor impression on the evaluators. Now also look at this, the right side alignment is not correct. So anytime when you present, it's not only the content, the way you present yourself, the PPT as well as the way you present yourself matters a lot because there you are able to make a better impression. Now I'm asking a question, is it not better to use the title, why this project instead of this? Because you are, and then describe all the problems with facts and figures. What are the issues actually with a lot of numbers? We will see in the next slide. How can we make the slides better? Avoid long descriptions. Always put small bullet points so that otherwise people will, the evaluators will start reading it and then they will not focus on what you're talking about. Use bullet points and graphics. So this is how you can represent this. So ask a question, why this project, and describe the problems. So now plastic waste in India. How is it, what exactly is the problem? So 27 kilotons of plastic is generated daily. 15 metric tons is discarded in the ocean per year. We consume microplastics daily through the water which is consumed by us. 80% is dumped in landfills and only 6% is recycled. So that's how you are describing the problem. And can we find an environment-friendly alternative to plastic? So you ask a question like this. So you're addressing the problem quantitatively. Now bioplastics is an alternative to, so now straight away you are jumping into the solution. Instead of that, give a hypothesis. If we do so and so, we can eliminate or reduce the problem so and so, and then how can we do it? Give an idea. So how do we do that? Hypothesis. If we replace plastic with bioplastic, it will significantly reduce the problem pollution from plastic, and then highlight all the benefits. How will it benefit? So that's your hypothesis. Then how do you want to address it? Mention the ideas which you plan to implement to reduce the problem. So there you will mention all the ideas that you want to implement. So what is the methodology by which you want to address the problem? You will mention in brief. So now again, you are coming and talking about, so you're talking about the plastics, bioplastics, and then now you're talking about paper. So why do you want to create confusion by talking about two things at a time? So plastic, replace it with bioplastics is sufficient. So just do not add these kind of unwanted topic like paper. Now you're talking about the wastage of milk, right? This is also a problem. So you are actually addressing two problems. One is the problem due to plastic, and the other one is can we make use of milk which is getting wasted and convert it to plastic? That you're addressing two problems and then giving a solution to address two problems. So put all these data which you have made here, compiled here, to why this project, and then mention both the problems: problem due to plastic, problem due to milk. And then can we make use of this milk which is getting wasted to make bioplastic? Now, in the experiment, this is when you look at these statements, they look so colloquial, right? We first heated up the milk until it is hot and burning. Now we poured. So be a little bit scientific when you are making statements. Be scientific in the report as well as the presentation. So always, so that you create a much better impression. And also, do not straight away get into the experiment. First, you do an awareness survey and then highlight the findings of the survey, and then you go to what is the current solution available and what is your innovation, and then combine all of them. Then you get into the experiment. So here there is no description. You are just mentioning only 3 steps instead of that, and then you're straight away getting into outcome. And then this is how you are making the bioplastic out of this, right? So first, as I said, what is our innovation? Describe in bullet points what are the solutions available as of now for traditional plastic, and then you describe your method briefly, and then highlight the difference between what is available solution, and then what is your solution, so that the evaluator gets a clear idea about that you have added something to you have contributed something to this solution on your own. And then you do a survey. So ask your contacts, are you aware of the bioplastics, and do you know that plastic is creating sorts of problem? How much of knowledge awareness do you have about the problem that is created by plastic? Such kind of questions, whatever is relevant to your problem. Also, the solution which you are providing, do they have any awareness about the solution which you are talking about? And then you will compile all of them into small the main observation. You don't need to give the solution for each of those problems, but then compile all of them, and this is main observation from the survey. So the outcome of awareness survey. And then when you come to experiments, try to give as much graphics as possible. So put photographs of your experiment so that the evaluator will know that yes, this team has definitely done a lot of experiments. And you can describe in small with small descriptions below each one of them, but then you don't need to read them. Just explain, look at the photograph and then or image, and then explain what is your experiment. Same is the case with even preparation of containers. So explain. So here I have just put x-axis. So just describe in brief. But when you're talking about never read, always make your own descriptions and then just deliver it. So look at the photograph and then or image and then make your own descriptions. Now, is it necessary to ask questions here? It's better to keep it for the Q&A session, so that when somebody asks a question, you are not you are saving that much time. Now, so now you're talking about results. So give a caption as results. And as I said earlier, avoid long descriptions. And here you're talking only about the biodegradability test. Instead of that, try to add a couple of more important other tests. Like, for example, in this case, maybe you can add mechanical strength. If it's not possible to get that, then it's okay. But then at least whatever is possible, try to do them. Or at least you can mention in the piece of scope of work that we can do this also. Unfortunately, due to some inconvenience or non-availability of the required resources, we could not do these tests. But then highlight. Again, here I am just mentioning avoid long descriptions. Try to make it as bullet points or with graphics. And then always mention, because implementation is the most important, as I mentioned in the last year orientation. In the 4 basic pillars also, it should be implementable, right? So if you're not able to implement commercially at larger scale, give an outline of how can you implement this. So, or how do you want to implement this? That have a clear-cut description as to this is our idea to implement this, and we would like to take it forward to implement this. Conclusion, always do not give qualitative points for conclusion. Always try to make it quantitative, like to what exactly will be the benefits in terms of ecological benefits or economical benefits, and then whatever benefits are coming, give quantitative figures. This much percentage will be the benefit. This much kg will be the benefit. This much of liters will be the benefit. Whatever is coming out, give, or in a year so much, or in a month so and so. So make it quantitative so that there is a clear cut. You're conveying a clear message as to this is what I am. This project is going to be beneficial to the society. And then, as I mention scope of future work, because it's not possible for you to complete all this work in the few months, like 3 months or 6 months, whatever it may be. And therefore, give future scope of work. This year you have an advantage because now it's only April, so you can do it from April, May, June, July, August. Maybe in September we will have the first thing. So you are getting 6 months compared to the other years. Therefore, you will be able to do more. Even then, in 6 months, you will not be able to do. There will always be a future scope of work. Now, let's move to the next project. So here you look at this. This team is talking about a study of soil erosion, and then they are giving a blue background, right? Is it relevant to this? Why don't you pick up something which is relevant to the problem? Now, a study of soil solution erosion is again not a problem, right? So as I mentioned in the previous project, try to convey a problem as well as the solution through your the topic, and then also mention what is this about. Is it National Space Science Congress, and then what is the focal theme, what is the sub theme, and who is your guide, what is your school, and also the image depicting the problem. So let's see how can we do that. So these are all missing, right? Well, that's what I mentioned. So 28th National Children's Science Congress, and then focal theme, science for sustainable living, and a sustainable approach to eradicate soil erosion at so-and-so village. So you're clearly saying that there is a problem in so-and-so village and due to soil, right? And then you're mentioning something. And so I have put here one image which is depicting the problem, right? And school name. Now my question is, what is the probability of this kind of projects to be selected as the most promising project? Because this is like a survey-based project or to create awareness, right? It's basically to create awareness. So anytime you pick up a project which is to create awareness or through survey-based project, it's very, very unlikely to make it to the most promising project. Therefore, try to pick up something which is where you will be able to do some experiments and then more scientific. Therefore, then you have more chances of getting into the most probable promising project. Introduction again, and this like the previous case, the team was trying to explain what is plastic. Here also, is it necessary to explain what is soil erosion, because the evaluators are definitely already knowledgeable in this. Avoid background image because that will slow down the shift of the slides, and also it will also increase the file size, and necessarily it will take up a lot of RAM. Avoid long descriptions, use graphics and bullet points. Now we will see in the following slides how can we make this to a much better presentation. So look at this. This here, this team is trying to convey the problem. Now 2000, 2010, 2020. What is the y-axis? What is the country? There is nothing is given, so no numbers. So how can we convey the problem like this? Is it not better to use the title "Why this project" and describe the problem with facts and figures? So how can we do this? So 147 soil erosion in India, 147 million hectares of land is getting eroded by due to the soil erosion. And out of that, 9 million hectares is due to wind, 94 million hectares is due to water erosion. Acidification contributes 16 million hectares, and 14 million hectares is due to flood. So you are giving a clear-cut problem. This is the problem, right? And then if you can capture other data specific to your village or whatever it may be, capture those, and then ask a question, can we find a solution for this? So that was the general to India. Now describe what kind of human activities lead to this situation. In the next slide, propose a hypothesis and idea to solve the problem. So if you are going to address the problem in your village, then this can be a separate slide, and then you can address what exactly is the problem and who is contributing there and how is it getting, how the situation, so what is leading to the situation. So hypothesis, now you're taking that the hypothesis is to find methods to prevent soil erosion and fossil fuels. That is not a hypothesis. So if you are going to, so here during the presentation, the team said that they are going to create awareness. If awareness is the purpose of the project, then this is not the right hypothesis. If we create awareness by doing so and so, so and so, by so and so, so and so, means we can reduce the soil erosion by so much percentage. So you are specifically addressing the problem and you are giving a solution in terms of quantitatively, right? So if we do so and so, so and so, it will significantly reduce the soil erosion, resulting in, and then highlight all the benefits, what all benefits it can lead to. And then give your idea, how do you want to implement your idea or concept, whatever it is. Yeah? And then what is our innovation? So describe the available solutions as of now, what is available. Maybe nothing is there, so then you can mention, but definitely always something will be there. It may not be, it may be only 10% of what can be done. And still you can mention, and then you can address all that you want to implement. Or this can be done, this can be done. This is all what we would like to implement to make the situation to solve the problem. And then, as I mentioned, do a survey. Are the people living in that village, if you're addressing the problem in a village, are they aware of this problem? Do they know what exactly is the uh, problem that is created by due to this one? And then how can this be implemented? Do they know about any of the solutions that can be implemented? And if solution is implemented, what can be, how can, what difference will it make? Ask such kind of questions. Anything that is relevant to your project and the solution which you are proposing. And then outcome, as I mentioned. Then do experiments to validate your hypothesis and idea. In this case, if it is in a village, then you can ask somebody to do your experiments and then they can report to you. And then results, analysis and interpretation of results. Then how can we implement this? As I mentioned in the previous project, so always the project should be implementable. So one of the implementation is to always create awareness. The methodology to create awareness you have to mention. And then how are you planning to commercialize this? Plan for commercialization. Then the ecological impact, how much of impact we have ecologically as well as economically, highlight all of them quantitatively. And then conclusions. Conclusions again, as I mentioned, be quantitative when you do the conclusions and scope of future work. That's all. Thank you.